do the bell and then we can start.
Good morning. Our story today is based on a children's book by Johnny Valentine, written in 1991, and was adapted to be a UU service by Erica Hewitt in 2010. Any similarity to real people or events is nearly coincidental. Once there was a royal kingdom, far away in a land with no rush hour traffic, infomercials, or email. The kingdom was ruled by a king and queen. The king and queen enjoyed their work, but felt overwhelmed by the demands of ruling a sizable kingdom. The queen, especially, was eager to take a break. They consulted with a travel agent who got them a great deal on a 2-week all-inclusive vacation to Dragonland. The king and queen packed their bags and called their subjects for a royal proclamation.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen and I are going on a vacation to Frolic and make merry. While we are away, our nephew, the Grand Duke Dwayne, will rule the kingdom. We'll try to send a postcard. See you in 2 weeks.
With that, the king and queen climbed into their coach and pulled away. Immediately, the Grand Duke Dwayne strode out onto the castle balcony.
Hear ye.
Oh, just a moment. Forgive me, Duke. I'm sorry to interrupt. I want to make sure that everyone here feels welcome. Would you mind holding off on your proclamation for a moment while our worship leader does her thing?
Okay.
Thanks for waiting, Grand Duke Dwayne. Good morning. Welcome to the worship community. There we go. Gotta get a little organized, sorry. Okay. Welcome to the worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Valerie Palacios, and I will be serving as your worship associate and leader today. Whether you are attending online or in person, I am glad you have chosen to join us for worship. A special welcome to our visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It is a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. It is a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration and share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this community. Now, if you are joining us online, you are encouraged to create a YouTube account to sign into when you attend online. This will give you access to the comment feature in YouTube. You can use comments to share joys and concerns that will be lifted up in worship. You can say hello to other online attendees or to share something about how the service connected with you. For those here in person, you are invited after the service to go down to the common room for coffee and for conversation. To find out what else is going on this week, you can scan the QR code on the back of your service or take a printed e-news in the foyer. Our church occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha, Otoe, Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We would also like to express our respect to the Ponca tribe of Nebraska, the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, the Santee Sioux tribe of Nebraska, and over 170 other tribes represented within the Omaha area. At First Unitarian Church of Omaha, we invite all to join us to go beyond acknowledgments by educating ourselves and supporting causes, charities, and rights of Indigenous peoples in the area. I have just a couple of announcements. First of all, during our coffee hour after service, we are having a bake sale downstairs with a lot of goodies. So I hope you'll all go down and participate in that after the service. And also I have Sherry Connor, who would like to make an announcement regarding our annual meeting.
Good morning, and for those of you who don't know me, I am Sherry Connor, President-elect. I'm here to announce the 156th annual meeting of First Unitarian Church. It will be held in lieu of service on Sunday and May 4th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. in person. This will also be streamed on YouTube, but to vote, you must be in person.
So as you can see today, our worship service is just a little bit different. Our children will remain present for the entire service, which is woven around a story filled with interesting characters. You've already met the king and the queen of the kingdom and their colorful nephew, the Grand Duke Dwayne. As we continue to worship, let us join in singing our opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Please stand in body or spirit if you are able. This morning, our teen class will be lighting the flaming chalice. It is the symbol of our faith. As the chalice is lit, I invite you all to join in the chalice lighting words. Okay. Oh, there we go. They're right here and they're right there.
Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life.
Thank you for holding off your proclamation, Duke. We're interested to hear what you're going to say, so back to you, storyteller.
As the Grand Duke Duane strode up to the balcony from which his uncle had so recently bid farewell to his subjects, a few of the kingdom members gathered around. The Duke took a deep breath and pronounced arrogantly and slowly for all to hear.
I have a decree to issue.
Oh, well, the Duke is a bit of a slow thinker.
My decree is that everyone shall return here tomorrow to hear my next decree.
Silliest decree I've ever heard. Doesn't he know how silly he sounds?
That's Beatrice, a girl who lives in the kingdom.
Be easy on the Duke, Beatrice. He's new at this, and he probably just couldn't think of anything to say.
That's Emmylou, Beatrice's mom.
Why doesn't he decree something useful, like banning cell phones from ringing during church services?
Some people do strange things to make themselves feel important. Maybe the Duke will relax into things soon, and the King and Queen will be home from Dragonland before you know it. How much trouble can the Duke stir up between now and then?
That's Sally, Beatrice's other mom.
I can't wait to see what his decree will be tomorrow.
The entire realm was curious as Beatrice about the Grand Duke's decree. The next day, everyone in the kingdom returned to the royal balcony as decreed. Some of them gathered out of obedience, some gathered out of curiosity about what the Grand Duke Duane would decree, and the rest of them had gathered because they'd heard a rumor that the castle would be giving away free coffee. The last group was disappointed. There was no free coffee.
Maybe they accidentally overheard me when I invited the congregation to coffee hour.
Right, that's probably where the miscommunication happened. Anyway, all of the people listened expectantly as the Grand Duke Duane strutted out onto the balcony and puffed up his chest.
Hear ye, hear ye. I proclaim that too many jelly beans are being eaten. We could have a jelly bean shortage if we are not careful. Henceforth, no one shall eat jelly beans without royal permission. I also proclaim that you shall not request royal permission to eat jelly beans, as no one is getting permission to do so.
Everyone looked at each other, bewildered. The king and queen, who are currently happily frolicking at Dragonland, never made such silly proclamations. Could the Duke possibly be serious?
Come on, Duke, we know you're just kidding.
I'm very serious. Anyone found eating jelly beans shall be beheaded. You shall all return here in 1 week to hear my next proclamation.
Oh, no one chuckled now. Everyone returned silently to their homes. Many shook their heads in dismay, but no one ate a single jelly bean. When the not so grand Duke Dwayne outlawed jellybeans, it was a hard week in the kingdom. People had to turn to chocolate to satisfy their cravings for sweets. But they managed to get by without jellybeans somehow. 1 week later, as promised, the Grand Duke Dwayne stepped out onto the balcony to issue his next decree to a growing crowd, who were wondering, would the next decree be as far-fetched as the last?
Hear ye, hear ye. Today I proclaim the 20 children are being disrespectful to their parents. I believe the children have become sassy and disrespectful because of the books they read. I've taken it upon myself to compile a short list of books that are acceptable for children. And I have instructed the royal libraries to lock up all unapproved books. Therefore, and henceforth, no children shall be allowed to read books that have not received the royal seal of approval. All who disobey me shall lose their heads.
He's nuts.
I'm afraid that doesn't matter, sweetie. Until the king and queen return from Dragonland, the Duke's word is the law.
For now, we should go home and gather up all our books to send to the castle for royal inspection.
But Mom, what am I supposed to do without my books?
Some leaders rule by fear, using their authority to exert power over other people. As Unitarian Universalists, we are guided by love. We're guided by trusting one another to use power respectfully and share it with others. We are guided by our desire to serve and to serve the common good. And so each week in our worship service, we invite love to guide us and service to inspire us by taking the time to listen to the joys and the sorrows in our community. At this time, I invite you to reflect on your joys and concerns that you have and to share them with each other after service. If you have any joys and concerns online that you'd like to share, please feel free to write those in and we will bring those forward. I do have one joy or concern here by Elaine Wells and Sandra Bruns. There will be a rally to save our democracy next Saturday, April 19th at 2 p.m. in the Jean Leahy Mall, downtown. This is a nationwide day of action to build community and fight increasing authoritarian rule. Please come.
From Amanda Burton, saying that my cousin Summer is struggling with her health. Please send positive thoughts and prayers to help relieve her pain and speed her healing.
Something that is very special in joining as community is that we do not necessarily have to verbalize our joys and concerns as we all feel each other around us in our intimate space of our service today. At this time, let us share this moment and take some silent meditation. Please relax your body. Place yourself in a comfortable seated position. Ground your feet to the floor. Close your eyes. Feel any points of stress. Smile slightly to release your forehead. And breathe. Spirit of love and guidance, in these quiet moments, let us remember our power and our agency. It is tempting at times to use our power to protect our own interests, to wall off our hearts, to lift ourselves above others, and each of us has done so, with or without awareness. We remember that by serving you and one another, we are calling to use our power in a different way, to be agents of healing in this hurting world, to bring about justice, to give voice to hope, to summon forth compassion. Inspire us, source of love, to do all these things, to heal, to help, to bless, and to do so with love. At this time, please rise in body or spirit for our next hymn. There is more love somewhere.
As you may recall, the citizens of the royal kingdom were beginning to feel upset because the Grand Duke Dwayne had outlawed jellybeans and, as it turns out, all of the most interesting books. A week later, he issued yet another decree, this one more heavy-handed than the others. As always, the Duke strode up to the balcony, puffing up his chest.
Hear ye, hear ye. Since I grew up with just one mother and one father, and I turned out so well, I proclaim that this arrangement will work best for everyone. In 1 week, any children who have too many mothers or fathers or not enough will be thrown to the dungeon.
It wasn't that bad to give up my jelly beans. It was kind of bad to give up my favorite books. But I won't give you up. I won't. I have 2 mothers. Both of you are my moms, and I've turned out great. He can't throw me in the dungeon.
I'm afraid he can, technically, but we'll never let him take you away.
Never. We'd run away to another kingdom first.
We should have gone to Dragonland ourselves, huh?
Come back next week for another royal decree. Oh, and in the meantime, don't forget about the jelly beans.
Throughout the village, everyone shook their heads in shock, murmuring about the lengths to which the great Duke Dwayne had taken his power. While the Duke squirreled himself away in his aunt and uncle's castle, studying important papers and composing his next decree, he seemed completely oblivious to the people's distress. He was certainly oblivious to their planning. The Duke didn't know, for example, that later that evening after dinner, Beatrice had an emergency meeting with her friend Dalton. Like others in the kingdom, they felt outraged about the Grand Duke's most recent decree. Stirred into reflection and action, Beatrice and Dalton made a list.
Well, there's Demetrius. He has 2 dads. That's one dad too many, according to Grand Duke Dweeb.
And don't forget about Anastasia. She lives with her grandparents.
And what about Ezekiel? He has just one mom and no dads. The Duke will take him away from his mom too.
We love all these people. We definitely have to do something to protect them.
Several other kids who did not have the right parents, according to the Grand Duke Dweeb, Dwayne, and who were in danger of being taken away from their parents. They were determined to not let their friends remain in this danger. The next day, all of the children met secretly in the woods with Dalton and Beatrice. Beatrice whispered her plan to them.
As the children of the kingdom meet to create their plan, we remember the lands across the world where people are denied freedoms. We remember the lands where people are denied basic human rights. We remember the countries where justice and freedom have yet to take hold. We think of the dangers to justice and freedom in our own country. With these members of the human family in our hearts, let us sing This Is My Song.
The following day, the Grand Duke again strutted out onto the balcony, eager to make his next proclamation. The people gathered below, ready to meet his royal decree with their plan, codenamed Rebellious Resistance to Royal Wrong-Headed Righteousness.
Hear ye, hear ye. It has come to my attention that someone in this kingdom found a jelly bean under their sofa cushion and ate it. The jelly bean, not the sofa. You are in big trouble as soon as I find out who you are. It has also come to my attention that there's an unapproved book circulating through the kingdom. I remind you that you will be very sorry if you are caught reading Captain Underpants in the wrath of the wicked witchy ones.
The Duke's puffery made the kingdom's people even more determined to carry out their plan of rebellion.
However, what troubles me most supremely is that a number of families in this royal kingdom are defined by proclamation that families must have exactly one mother and one father. Some of you children out there have two mothers, and one of you has a grandmother instead of two parents, and so on. Later this afternoon, my royal guards will seek out you children who are in such danger and put you in the dungeon.
The dungeon? Suddenly, the Duke heard voices rising from the crowd below.
Hear he, hear he. I proclaim that all pet goldfish must be potty trained.
Hear ye, hear ye. I'm very smart, and I believe it's because I eat my favorite sandwich every day for lunch. Fried onion with grape jelly. I hereby decree that everyone must eat fried onion and grape jelly sandwiches at every meal.
Hear ye, hear ye. I accidentally swallowed a grasshopper when I was 2, and I turned out so well. I proclaim that all 2-year-olds must swallow grasshoppers. Yeah! Yippee!
Hear ye, I proclaim that dogs are not allowed to bird.
As these proclamations rained down on him, the Duke began to cringe. A look of uncertainty crossed his face, and he held up a hand. But he was speechless. The silly proclamations continued.
Hear ye, hear ye. I proclaim that we must throw eggshells at each other.
And continued.
Hear ye, hear ye. There's every lamb must be made out of peanut butter. Hear ye.
Any more proclamations?
Hear ye, hear ye. I proclaim everybody should get their funny bone Monday. Hear ye, hear ye. I proclaim that we should call the Grand Duke Dwayne the Rock.
And
Hear ye. I proclaim that everyone must hear this song now. Never gonna get you.
Hear ye, hear ye. I proclaim that this is the best royal kingdom ever. I proclaim that when the king and queen return from Dragonland, they're going to be very proud of their people. And I proclaim that we must pause the story just for a minute to receive this morning's offering. You know, these royal subjects may be having fun with the Duke's proclamations, but they're doing more than that. They are creatively standing up to his unjust decrees and his ruling by fear. It wouldn't have been easy for just one person to do that on his or her own. The more we join together, the more our power counts. So let us remember that when we pool our creativity, we can overcome obstacles. When we pool our energy, we can make great things happen. And when we pool our resources and share our gifts generously with this congregation, we support the community as well as Unitarian Universalism. So each week we share these blessings with others through our community offering. Half of the loose currency in the offering plate is donated to a local cause, which resonates with UU values. If you are online or prefer to give via your smartphone, you can use the QR code or the link that has been provided. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of April is NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness. NAMI is a grassroots organization dedicated to education, support, and advocacy with anyone whose life has been touched by mental illness. As we pause in our story, I invite you to please give generously. As we unpause our story, we find our crowd still gathered below the Grand Duke's balcony, giggling about the proclamations. Potty-trained goldfish, fried onion and grape jelly sandwiches, 2-year-olds swallowing grasshoppers, no burping dogs. The silly proclamations continued, and soon every person in the kingdom was giggling or chuckling. They laughed so hard their sides hurt, and they couldn't stop. Soon everyone was rolling on the ground, giggling and chuckling and laughing some more.
I proclaim that giggling is against the law.
Everyone roared with laughter, except for the Grand Duke Dweeb.
Guards, arrest everyone. Off with their heads.
But the guards were laughing too.
Off with their heads, off with their toeses. Send them to bed without any toeses.
This was too much for the Grand Duke. He had never been so humiliated in all his life. They were laughing at him. And so, with his chest still puffed out as far as he could get it, the Grand Duke Dwayne strode off the balcony, down the castle stairs, and out onto his coach. He rode out of the kingdom as fast as he could and was never seen or heard from again, except in his annual holiday card that he sent to his aunt and uncle. And just in case you're wondering, that evening, everyone ate jelly beans for dinner. And and except for a few stomach aches that night, they all lived happily ever after.
Let us again remember the importance of loving and of holy boldness by closing our service with one more step. While some of our rebels distribute our jelly bean communion. And don't worry, there will be more jelly beans available at our coffee hour. Body or spirit as we sing one more step.
The song one more time, just instrumental as our communion continues. Thank you so much. All right, if we could have our cast up to the front one more time to take a bow. This was a 12-member cast in addition to your worship leaders, and most of us gathered for a practice, and I really appreciate everyone and their families for getting together to participate in this. It was a lot of fun to do together. Let's give them all a big round of applause.
From the words of Edward Everett Hale. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. Let us each go out into the world doing the something that we can do, and be confident that these small acts build upon each other to bring about peace, to create justice, and to spread love.